Hey there, it's Andrea, and I wanted to do a quick video for each of the transformations so that we kind of have a gist of what we're talking about and why it's important. Although obviously it's super involved. So it's not like, you could say, well, what's my XYZ keyword mean? You can be told like a little something, but it doesn't um, it doesn't it still isn't within the context of the four altogether and your own personal chart. So there's not really any way to specifically respond to questions, well, what does calm mean or whatever. However, I did just have a conversation with somebody who had a post in a group. He was actually answering a post in a group that someone was asking about eating one thing at a time. Now, there is one of the digestion determination keywords it's on the charts that I use. It says either calm or, I'm sorry, the one that he was asking about, it would say either alternating or consecutive. These are both these are left or right pointing variables. Now see, we're already getting into words that maybe are like messing with your mind. That arrow pointing left or right will determine whether it's, if you have that particular color, which is one, you'll see if you go to the poll in our group, in our human design business group, if you go to the poll, you'll see that that's color one. This gal who made a post was asking about her color one determination. Does anybody else, her question was, what do you eat if you're supposed to eat one thing at a time? That's her particular determination, and it's not even just about eating. Determination is about digestion of everything. So it's people, places, experiences, the whole nine yards. It's one thing at a time for color one people. Ron, who asked this question in the comments, he asked, how do I know if I'm one thing at a time? He was asking about his determination color. He, it turns out, is color 5 and calm. So if you look on the poll, color 5 is, I don't even know what it is off the top of my head, I just used the charts. But his is calm, and so he said, and he gave me permission to read this. He said, determination says calm. I said, yeah, so it's not actually food specific. The lower tones are. So the lower tone, the 1, 2, 3 tone numbers for that determination, 5, color 5, they're the opposite of calm. So for him, which is nervous, I think is the word. Anyway, he's color 5, and he says it says calm. And then I said, yeah, and so it's not actually food specific. And he says, so it's anything goes, just have to be calm. And I said, yeah, it's about the circumstances, not the food. Ideal digestion, and it also ties into his environment variable, which would be true for yours as well. He said, that's true, I get upset when I'm stressed, thanks. And I said, you're welcome. And then he said, I'm natural shores for his environment. And I said, yeah, does that feel familiar? And then he said, eat in the bathtub. And I said that's probably would be more like artificial shores, which is the other directional piece of that same. Other people are shores artificial, which means edges of towns for environment, or places that one thing changes into another. And bathtub could, maybe that's a thing. It would be a thing to experiment with. I said like a quiet picnic at the lake. I said, is that something that does that sound like you? And he said, yes, I love the water. So that's the point, is that all of this stuff weaves together. And what he's seeing for his chart is that he's over 50. It's, he can see historically that this is true for him. Little kids, if we don't mess with them, they naturally lean these ways. But we, the people who are guiding them, are so already conditioned that we condition them away from their natural tendencies, is what tends to happen. But yeah, so this is not, I'm sharing the keywords, and that there's this layer, and that there's these details that you will need to or can consider in your experiment either right away or later. And just knowing them is kind of what I wanted to do, and then sort of give you an insight into what's possible in terms of how to move forward with that information. There's a PHS group that has extensive people talking about their personal experiences, like years and years of stuff that you could search. There's people who do official PHS readings, which is the primary health system. That's the environment and determination part. That's on the red side of your chart. The black side of your chart is where your outer authority comes from, and these things get woven together. The course that I do is about understanding how all that stuff puzzle pieces together, and then seeing in your own chart or other people's charts where these things are, and then being able to assimilate that way. It just really depends on and very occasionally, very occasionally, and I don't even know that I should say this officially, I do sometimes do sessions privately sometimes, but it's rare, so you'd have to really want it. But anyway, the point is that it's a simple keyword, and it feels like it's just tell me what it is, and it isn't that simple. So if you're more of like, I want to see what's on the map kind of person, then I'm a really good person to show you that, because that's my foundational piece of my design. I'm a 1-3 profile. So the 1 is a investigator. That's what I do. I find the foundation, and then when I feel secure in the knowledge base or the whatever it is that I'm investigating, then I can disseminate, and that's where my outer authority comes from. Is I learn what I learn through trial and error, which is the third line, and then I'm able to like simplify and condense all of that effort that I made into something that helps people just get it. Yeah. So I just wanted to, I don't even think I'll do one for each of these. I just wanted to give an example of somebody who's asking me about wasn't asking me, he was asking in one of the groups. There was a confusion. I got his chart for him. We figured out that it wasn't applying to him, the conversation that was happening, and also was able to like give him some clarity. But he's been studying for, we've been in conversation for a couple of years, so I could just shoot him a couple lines, and then he knows to come back when it's time. I hope that helps, and I'm looking forward to like having all of this piece sort of in place, and moving into a little bit of conversation around pricing and being seen and stuff like that. That is the other piece that really confounds people. Transactions, making transactions, finding a way to flow with transactions. Yeah, that's what I love. I love both of these topics, so it's cool that you're here to have this conversation with me, and I appreciate you. So let's see what happens next. Have a great day.